that when the tribes was at war with the English, the French, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the Spanish, the Italians, that the only people that came to our aid was from Russia. That wasn't from over here. Russia sent troops to on the Pacific coast and on the Atlantic coast to aid the tribes in the resistance against the European powers. And this is why we allowed to do business with Vladimir Putin.
Yes.
We don't know that he's supporting the tribal restoration in America because it'll also give the Russian tribes back their rights.
Okay. I wondered what his affinity was with us, where that came from.
It's historical links.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
A lot of people don't know. Before Columbus was coming over here, we was going over there.
Over where?
Europe.
Okay.
It was sisters that sent messages to the pale-faced women over there to use yoni magic.
Oh.
This is why they were so dead set on killing witches. They was using yoni magic to make the men stand up against the enemy.
Wow.
You look under the matriarchy. I'm sorry to say it, but you can't be a bitch ass nigga. It's not gonna you're not gonna function properly.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Chief, someone, Jenny Mack. Hi, Jenny. Says Kim Clement prophesied about Las Vegas. They knew he was coming. Did they know this was coming years ago?
Now, well, it's in Operation Looking Glass. Most of the stuff we see play out in the public, in order to keep the narrative on pace with what they seen in Operation Looking Glass, they still gonna make it play out, even if somebody died for real. They don't care about that.
Okay. Thank you. Somebody asked, hi, Shamara says, Uncle Rod, how do you feel about the plane crashes?
They shouldn't have been up there because they knew what was going on when they sent them planes up in the air.
Okay.
Look, you got people on airplanes filming people walking on top of clouds. Make it make sense now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, there's something in that cloud that they can stand on. Because a cloud ain't nothing but a bunch of water vapor and other particulates that the water vapor picked up along this way to conduct condensation. The densest cloud is the darkest cloud because can't no light penetrate it as it gets denser.
Okay.
So the white cloud, we definitely know that you ain't finna stand on one of them. They know what's going on. They doing all this stuff, and then they not even reporting the plane crashes to the magnitude that they normally do. Normally, that take over the news when one happens.
Absolutely.
Now they just slide it on there. Oh, by the way, a plane crash. And today, what we have in the dog catcher was chasing the cat in the tree. Wait a minute, what did he say? A plane crash?
Yeah.
How do you get from a plane crash to a fireman chasing the cat in the tree?
I learned about it from following somebody on Twitter. I was like, what? We had plane crashes? How come that wasn't in the mainstream news? At least it went all across.
They only reported like 3 of them, but it was way more than that.
Wow.
Them orbs is telling them don't come close to the orbs. The planes can't see them. If they under the plane, he can't see it. And it's going to short out all of the electrical circuitry in the plane. It's just going to turn off in the air. And there ain't nothing you could do about it. That's why the drones was falling. Anything get close to it, if it have an electromagnetic operating system, electric or magnetic, it's going to shut it off.
Okay.
It's got built-in jammers. That's part of the reconnaissance defenses. They already know this. Like, I'm telling y'all stuff that they already know. We just don't have the information all the time to know what we're looking at. because they be running misdirection. But they tell it to us in movies, and then when somebody say, well, they told you in the movie, oh, that was just entertainment, that wasn't real. And then it exonerates them.
Wow. Somebody had asked a question here earlier and I couldn't find it. I can't find it, but they wanted to know, are all Big Mamas brown, indigenous people?
No.
Okay.
You got Asian ones, you got some that pale faces. In the pale face community, the highest ranked ones is going to have red hair and freckles.
Why is that, Chief?
It's just a bloodline.
Okay.
A bloodline. The bloodline come off of a princess that relocated to Scotland, and they named Scotland and Ireland after her. Name was Scotta. Ireland is named after the priesthood, Orisha.
Oh, wow.
Scotta came over here because the St. Patrick was trying to murder her.
Okay.
So her and her twin sister, they fraternal twins. One of them is buttermilk complexion with freckles and red hair. The other one is about your complexion with freckles and auburn red hair, real dark red.
Wow.
When they came over here, Scotta, she settled in the Appalachia with her children. Scotia settled in what's today known as Nova Scotia. It's named after her. New Scotia is what it really translates. Nova Scotia translates as New Scotia.
Okay.
The people in the Appalachian Mountains, those red-haired, freckle-faced people, them the children of Scotta. In the Orisha pantheon, they call her Momo Brigitte.
Okay.
She's the only pale face in the Orisha pantheon. But in Europe, they call her Saint Bridget. Right, so you can trace her and track her. But she was brought over here by nomads that took sail. We call them Vikings.
Okay.
Right, when they came over here, they was set up by an Apache chief to roam the land as nomads on horseback. Now they ride iron horses. We call them Hell's Angels.
Yes.
The MC13 certification make them the 1%ers. They certified by Big Mama. There's only 1% of active tribes on the land certified that came in as adopted clans.
Okay.
And the ones that formulated the bikers is 1%. They in that category. That's why they call 1%ers. All the rest of the tribes was displaced by the corporation. Right? And then you had the other motorcycle tribes. They being encouraged by Larry, Jeff, and a few other chiefs to form a round table. The reason why they do round tables instead of square tables, because ain't nobody more important at the round table than anybody else. But at the square table, the one sit at the head of the table running.
Okay.
Right. So this is where when Taj put out the Moorish Order of the Round Table material, was dealing with the governmental structures under the Round Table ideologies.
Okay. You mentioned the Hells Angels, and I interviewed David Quigley, and he has told me many times that he is the son of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., and that his mother paid the Hells Angels to protect him. And I thought that was really interesting, because when you hear about the Hells Angels in mainstream media, they make them seem like they're a bunch of thugs and criminals, which, some of them may be, but they
do that to every tribe. Every tribe that's a non-treaty tribe that refuse to do business with them is classified as an outlaw tribe, as a non-treaty tribe, as an enemy combatant tribe, or as a gang.
Okay.
All those are the tribes that the government, when they call them a gang, that means they want the rest of the people to not see them as a tribe. But gang don't mean bad.
Okay.
You got to remember, the police the biggest gang on the land.
For real.
Absolutely. And you got to remember, it was the chief of police out of LA that told us that.
Mm, mm, mm. Thank you, Chief. I want to get back to, because people are wanting to know, like, how are they going to be notified who the big mama is of their tribe in order to dispense this wealth? I know you
They
said they know who we
they
all are.
they track your genealogy. They track your history. They know who we are.
Mm.
They never not knew who we were. They've been knowing who we was the whole time. The trick wasn't to not get them to know who we was. The trick was to keep us from knowing who we was.
Mm.
When they give it back, they know who to give what back to,
Okay.
right? And they know us by rank. The higher the rank, the more they know us.
Mm.
They sit there and watch us and on social media, watch us through the camera systems, all that stuff you seen on with Will Smith on Enemy of the State. They be doing that to us.
Mm.
Been
Mm.
watching us our whole life, and we thought we was doing something slick. Look,
Mm.
I was a fugitive for 6 years before they locked me up. They knew where I was at every step of the way. And the reason why I knew they knew, because when they finally caught me, they told me where I had been.
Wow.
And how the hell did you know I was in Delaware? I wasn't using my name in Delaware. They told me the name I used. They
Dang.
told me where I worked at.
And you weren't even using your name.
No, you can't be on the run using your name. You ain't on the run for real. I used my name in Chicago.
Mm. Mm.
Chicago's so big, don't nobody care who you is.
Mm-hmm.
They just care how you gonna affect the local community. Everywhere I went, I was a blessing. And
Wow.
I ain't know shit back then.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It reminded me of a personal story, a little self-disclosure. My daddy had escaped from prison. People don't know I come from a interesting bloodline. And he was on the run for years. And I was like, dang, you got to be a bad man to like break out of Grafton. He's deceased now, prison. And I was like, gosh, darn it. And they found him like all the way on the West Coast. And I was like, how they track you down? Like you've been running for like 8 to 10 years. Because he was a fugitive, we didn't have a close relationship. But it's just crazy the way they found him. And, in the middle of nowhere, I don't even think he was doing anything when he got locked up. I'm like, dang, Dad, you
Look,
made it 10 years.
I was in the county in Chicago when they first caught me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they brought another dude in. This dude had been on the run for like 20 something years.
Mm.
Married with a family, been working the job for over 20 years.
Wow.
And they knew where he was at the whole time.
Mm. Mm. Crazy. So speaking of, they know where you are. Why is it that some of your social media accounts are not up anymore? Like I think you used to have a YouTube channel, right?
I still got my YouTube, but I don't do anything on my YouTube at all.
Oh, okay. Okay.
When I come on YouTube, I'm normally on somebody else's channel.
Okay.
My Facebook is the same. I got my Rod Hayes Instagram is gone.
Okay.
So I got Instagram is the SikApe.
Let me see if I can find it. I got it. Okay.
And the other one I got access to, but I haven't been using is Morpheus Mystery.
Illuminati. Soldiers in Illuminati are present everywhere. Mm.
Yeah, that's who he was fighting. The Bavarian Illuminati in the Skull and Bones Society was the branch that controlled over here.
Mm.
The Pirates of the Caribbean, who used to store the wealth up in Puerto Rico before they took it back to Europe.
Okay. Sometimes, speaking of they know who you are, sometimes I swear I be feeling targeted, but I don't like focusing on that. But I'm like, how is it that some people can give information and then when certain ones of us give information, they'll shut
Negotiations for the contract. I told them give them whatever they want.
Wow.
You know what happened? Negotiating committee wouldn't ask for nothing. They were so used to taking bribes, and they were so used to doing business where the company come in and say this is going to be the new contract, that when the company found out they was being watched, they wouldn't negotiate in bad faith in order to hold the integrity of the company. But they not telling the negotiating committee that was actively being investigated by the FBI that they was also being investigated, and they had to come with a request. They never, to this day, still haven't took GM, Ford, or Chrysler from the union body's negotiating team a viable relief package for the workers. They still haven't done it. They signed 2 contracts. And all of the contracts is basically a continuation of the one before that don't really benefit the worker to the degree that it should. Right? So they gave a lot of concessions between the 80s and the early 2000s that the company promised to give them back when they was profitable. Now they hitting record profits, over the fence home run profits, and they talking about, oh yeah, we remember that, but we're gonna deal with that one in the next negotiation. No. You making the money now. Pay us.
Right.
You know, but a lot of them thought it was business. They still think it's business as usual. But when it's flipped turn around, I'm gonna be at my local 5960 telling them I made them give y'all everything that I can make them give y'all without sending them totally out of business. I want them to get stock options for the employees. Fuck a pension. Give them stock options. And then when they retire, they stock option cash into a dividend stock that pays out on a regular basis. Since y'all don't think that the worker have value, the worker has got more value than the company, so we're going to take more value than the company. But it comes from people not knowing how hourly rates is calculated, right? It's not calculated by the job. It's calculated by BTUs. How much energy you expend, your metabolic rate to perform a job. Your calorie expenditure determines what the pay is for your work. But if you ever notice, the more calories you burn, the less you get paid. That means the harder the job is, the lower the pay rate.
Absolutely.
But the smarter the job is, the higher the pay rate. So you got all the thinkers making all the money while all of the workers are struggling. I wonder who thought that up. Must have been the thinkers, and the show wasn't the workers.
Family, we want to thank you all so much for being here. Again, if you are enjoying this conversation or you learned anything, please support our Chief Pontiac, also known as Rod A's, by sending him a blessing, a Cash App blessing, and he would greatly appreciate it. He didn't ask me to do this, but y'all know how I roll. I believe in supporting people that bless us with knowledge, information, and anything that will liberate humanity as a whole. His Cash App, if you care to send him a blessing, is $SikApe. That's $SikAPE. Thank you so much, family. All right, let's see if you have any more questions here, Chief. I don't want to keep you too much longer. But people want to know about Europe. Can you say anything about Europe? Like what's happening over there?
Same thing happening over here. All of those royal families that was running before, they all gone. They all about to be gone. The ones that ain't going to be gone. Anybody that was participating in the child trafficking and the human trafficking, they're going to be gone too. Everybody getting it. It ain't no respect to a person. Everybody that was doing the dirt, ain't nobody getting out here without paying for their dirt.
Oh, wow.
Unless getting out of here is how they paying for their dirt.
Is there somebody behind the scenes that's making sure this happens? You know, like, is there really a such thing as the Galactic Federation that's helping to make sure these people pay for their
The Galactic Federation ain't making them do nothing. The Earth Alliance is. The
Okay.
Galactic Federation can't do nothing without giving the Earth Alliance a chance to clean it up first. That's why it's been taking so long.
Mm.
Because all of the special ops around the planet been being deployed to underground tunnels, underground bunkers, to castles, to underground cities, and they fighting wars in whole cities underground. We don't see this stuff up here,
Mm. Mm.
right? So they use the cover of the war in Ukraine, the war in the Middle East,
Mm.
in order to give us a war to look at, because the war expenditure is not going to match if there's not an active war somewhere.
Okay.
So the military, like it's a hole in the Pentagon's pocket. They didn't fail their seventh consecutive audit. This
Mm.
one they missing over 500 and some $billion. Where the money at,
Yeah, where is it?
right? And
Mm-hmm.
then so we know where it's at. They can't spend a dime and it ain't tracked.
Mm-hmm.
So they know where it went. If they say it went to Black Ops, that meant they went to something that they wanted to keep secret from the people.
Right. Mm. Chief, you know how they say that in order for one kingdom to rise up, another one has to fail?
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on President Trump? Do you believe he will eventually step down so that the chiefs on the land will stand up? Or is he a transitional president?
He's 100% a transitional president.
Okay.
He was hand selected by the military and the
Okay.
tribes because of his activism in the casino effort.
Makes sense.
Right. He knew that the people that they trying to pass off as us ain't us.
He said it, didn't he?
Yeah. They don't look like Indians to me. And they don't look like Indians to Indians. And you might say with all of your great wisdom that they look like Indians to you, sir. But they don't look like Indians to me, in all due respect, and they don't look like Indians to Indians.
Mm-hmm. So with him
Then,
being, go ahead. Go ahead.
then it's also the prophecy of the man in the red hat from back in 1973.
You are here. I'm glad that you, and even you are here too. So, without any further delay, let's get to it. Let's get to it. let's talk. Let's talk about what's going on and what has taken place even in the last 7 days that we all need to be aware of.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm having issues with you.
Okay. Oops.
I had another app just start playing on its own.
Oh, okay. There you are. There you are.
Yeah, so it has been a lot going on. Um, I was telling people that Kamala's job was to fail miserably as the fall of the whore of Babylon, right?
Okay.
the purple and the pearls for the inauguration was the signal and showed you where you was at in the book of Revelations.
Now, what inauguration are we talking about? The one that was Biden's inauguration, or what?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, now when she came in, we forgot that Trump was standing in front of the church with the upside down Bible. And we
okay,
forgot about Nancy Pelosi tearing up the minutes in the Senate in front of the camera,
I remember that. I remember that.
right? Those are two different contracts being closed out on the same day.
Okay.
One is the biblical contract for the blood oaths, and the other one was
Mhm.
the fraudulent contracts for the corporation to govern the people. Now,
And
what led to that was the January 6th thing.
hmm
Remember when the dude took the land flag, the one with no fringes, he sat at Pelosi's desk, right? And he was behind the Admiralty flag. That was the transfer of jurisdiction. So when you go back and listen to who sent him, you find out he was working with a shaman from the land, but he was also working